Welcome back, everyone, to another market update. Today we are going to do a market update for Dallas, Georgia, in Paulding County. We're going to talk about single family homes. We're going to talk about sales price, average days on market, and give you all an insight of the numbers as of June of 2025. So this is a market update for Dallas, Georgia for June 2025 specifically for single family homes. So let's get into it. So we are in June of 2025 talking specifically about single family homes in Dallas, Georgia. So we're talking about single family homes in Dallas, Georgia specifically, and it's in Paulding County, Georgia. And we're talking about Dallas, Georgia in particular. So Paulding County is made up of Dallas, Georgia, as well as Hiram. And Dallas is the larger of the two cities. There's a lot of growth happening here. It is a city that is growing quite a bit. So I wanted to give you a market update so you are aware of what's going on in the city in particular. So let's start out with these numbers right here. So this is the average sales price in Dallas, Georgia, the June numbers for 2025. So a little bit of level setting. We have the entire MLS. We have Dallas, Georgia in green and Paulding County in yellow. So again, the entire MLS is the black line here. Dallas in green, Paulding County in yellow. So as of June 2025, Dallas, Georgia has an average sales price of $393,000 just about. Again, this is for specifically single family detached homes across Dallas, Georgia, as compared to all of Paulding County. Paulding County average sales price is $385,000, obviously less of a sales price than the entire MLS, but let's take a look at what it was as compared to this time last year. So let's look at June 2024. So if we go right here, Dallas, Georgia, this time last year was at $385,000 as an average sales price. $385 last year, and now we're at $393. So we're up this year. And in addition to that, Paulding County last year in June was $393,000, and now it is $385,000. So Paulding County has actually decreased in average sales price from this time last year, whereas Dallas has increased. It is currently at $393,000 for single family homes, and this time last year it was at $385,000. So this is important because if you're looking at Dallas, Georgia specifically as it compares to Hiram, or trying to figure out whether Dallas and Hiram are for you or Hiram are for you, Dallas seems to have a bit more appreciation than Hiram, but overall as compared to the entire county, it is trending upward. So let's take a look at June new listings. So we have a little bit of a different format here. We have a bar graph, but let me level set here for you as you look at these numbers. So the black line is the entire MLS. Again, I always want to have something to reference as compared to the city that we're considering now, which is Dallas, Georgia. Dallas, Georgia is the green bar down here, and all of Paulding County is the yellow bar. So you have the numbers last year, this time, and in 2023. I always like to compare last year and this year. If you really want to take a look at the numbers 2 years ago, you can, and also the software doesn't allow me just to do 2 years. Either way, what you're looking at here is June new listings for Dallas, Georgia. And let's take a look at this year. So we have 236 new listings in Dallas, Georgia in particular. And if we compare that to this time last year, it was 223. So we actually have more listings on the market this month in June as compared to last year, up almost 6%, up about 5.8%. And if we look at Dallas as compared to, let's look at actually Paulding County as compared to last year. So Paulding County, the yellow bar, as compared to Paulding County last year in June, it is also following suit, up 7.7% for new listings, single family home listings in Dallas, Georgia specifically this year as compared to last year. So what does that mean? More inventory. There are a bit more homes to choose from. So if you are a buyer in the market looking for a home, the competition isn't as fierce as it was last year, which is in line with what the market is saying and what news outlets are saying. So there are a little bit more options, and this will make a little bit more sense as we start to look at the supply and demand numbers. But it does look like this time last year in Dallas, Georgia and Paulding County across the board, that new listings have increased both in Dallas, Georgia, and Paulding County overall. So if you're a buyer looking at this data, this is a good sign, meaning you have more options. Now, if you're a seller, this is something to pay attention to and to keep in mind. This is an indication that buyers have more options and we need to be a little bit more price sensitive and a little bit more willing to make adjustments if need be, or if the days on the market are longer than you like, in order for us to get a qualified buyer and get your home moving more quickly. So this is pending sales. So this is a good indication and goes to show you how quickly homes are moving once they are sold. So pending sales is once a home goes on the market, how long does it take for it to have or get an offer that is accepted? So again, black line, the entire MLS, green is Dallas, and purple is Paulding County. So of course, let's take a look at the green for this June for pending sales. So we have 123. Now, if we compare that to this time last year in 2024, it was 142. So it actually has gone down and the number of pendings has actually decreased. So this is in line with what I shared before. If you look at the pending sales from last year, June of 2024, and compare them to this year at this time, it has decreased. What does that mean? It essentially that the pending sales, or that the time that it takes from a home to go from listed to pending, has decreased. So if you're a seller watching this, this is also another indication that pricing needs to be a little bit more strategic and sensitive because homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. This also may be a sign to price your home more strategically the first time around to avoid price adjustments. So this is a good number to know in order to price your home better or more appropriately on the front end, because if a home is priced out of the market or it's priced at a number where maybe a little bit ambitious, they're going to sit on the market longer without an agreeable offer. So this is interesting. I always like to take a look at this because it is a good indication to show how strategic we need to be in pricing your home accordingly. And when I say accordingly, that's more in line with the market and the comps in the area. So if we look at Paulding County, it also follows suit. So this time last year, it was at 231, and this year, the number is 205, down 11%. So again, from sale to pending, it is taking longer for homes to transition from being marketed or active to going under an accepted or binding contract. So this is a very interesting number, especially if you're a seller, and something to really keep in mind. So let's look at the average days on market, and this should also be in line with the previous slide in terms of time to pending. So this is the average days on market, again, for single family homes in June. Our green line is Dallas, Georgia, yellow is Paulding, and the gray is the entire MLS. So if we're looking at Dallas, Georgia, as of this month, we're at 45 is the average days on market. As compared to last year this time, it was 29. So an obvious increase of about 15 or so days, and homes are sitting on the market longer on average this time. So this is in line with the previous slide, and a caution to sellers that this indicates that whatever price the home ends up hitting the market, currently they are sitting on the market a little bit longer. So again, another sign to be a lot more price sensitive about listing your home accordingly or appropriately, such to get it moving in a reasonable amount of time or at a price that's going to get you an offer versus having it sit on the market without any offers. And that change is up 55%. Wow, what an increase, right? 29 to 45, up 55% from this time last year in terms of average days on the market. So homes for sale sitting on the market much longer than they did of June in last year, specifically single family homes. And Paulding County overall follows suit. Last year this time, 31 days was the average, and it is up 46, as well as the entire MLS. So this is a trend that we're seeing all across Metro Atlanta in all 7 major counties, but specifically real estate is hyper-local. So given that this specific video is a market update for Dallas, Georgia, if you are in Dallas, Georgia, or have a property in Dallas, Georgia, and watching this, it is also something to keep in mind, as you can see here indicated by the green line, and to price your home accordingly. I want to pause really quickly and say, if you are enjoying this information, if you find it valuable and helpful, make sure to check out the links in the description below. Fill out the inquiry form. Myself or someone from my team would love to speak to you and to get you more information so you can make the best decision for you. There's also a home valuation form below if you're curious about what your home is worth in this market, as well as some free resources as well. All of my contact information is in the description below as well if you'd like to speak a little bit more in detail about your specific situation, and I look forward to talking more with you about this and going from there. Either way, let's get right back into this. And this is your monthly supply and demand. This is your saturation number. This is how we indicate whether we're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or an average market. So anything less than 4 is a seller's market. Anything 4 to 6 is an average market, and anything 6 or higher is indeed a buyer's market. So let's take a look at the number here. Green is Dallas. This year in June, we're at 4.6. As compared to last year, we were at 3.2. So 4.6, we have just crossed into a balanced or an average market. So not a seller's market and not a buyer's market as of June 2025. So on the buyer's side is essentially indicating that there's a little bit more room for negotiation. Sellers aren't having as many offers on the table as they did this time last year. If you are a seller, this is indicating that buyers have more options, and it is important to be strategic about the marketing and the pricing of your home. So we're not quite in a buyer's market where things are going to get a little bit more scarce, or offers are going to become more scarce for sellers. It's not quite the other end of the spectrum. However, we're not in a seller's market anymore where sellers are getting 5 or 10 offers and they have all these options and all of them are great. They may be getting 1, maybe 2 in a 90-day span, and there's a lot more dialogue happening back and forth. So again, 3 as of last year was a seller's market indeed. And if you look, the number has increased by 43% and it has just eclipsed 4, putting the market for June of 2025 for single family homes in particular, specifically, in a balanced market. And if we look at the entire MLS, it is trending in that direction as well. And if we look at Paulding County, it is also trending in that direction as well, from 3.3 to 4.4. And last but not least, we're going to look at the average showings to pending. So this is an interesting chart I like to show specifically sellers. If you're considering putting your home on the market or selling your home in Dallas, Georgia in particular, this is a good number to know. And what this indicates is how many folks need to see your home, physically show up and lay eyes on it before an offer is generated. This is a great number to know because it essentially turns an offer into a number. You can backtrack into how many folks physically need to cross the threshold and lay eyes on your home before they make an offer. And that is what this chart indicates. What is the number of average showings to pendings? Now this obviously indicates they go with an agent, they open the lockbox and they enter the home. There may be some folks that may drive by, walk the property and not go inside. But if they use the lockbox with their agent and enter the home via the lockbox, this is tracked and it goes to show you, and it is an indication that they actually view the inside of the home. And this is a great number to really back into how many showings you need to get to an offer. Now, whether or not that offer is the greatest, whether or not you'll accept it, that's a whole different conversation. But having an offer to negotiate is a good thing if you are a seller in a market where offers are becoming a little bit more scarce. So again, looking at the green bar, this is Dallas, Georgia, and looking at the green bar as compared to last year. So June as of this year for single family homes, you needed 12.2 showings to generate or transition to a pending property. Last year, it only took 9.1 showings to transition a home into pending or to have an accepted offer. So as we can see, the number has increased. It is taking more showings for a home to get an accepted offer, which again, if you're a seller, this is a sign to price your home more effectively and more in line with what the market is doing. Now, depending on the situation, I know a lot of sellers have a particular number in mind, and maybe a year or two ago, that was a number they could possibly get in a short period of time. In this market, as of June of 2025 for single family homes, these numbers are stating otherwise, showing a little bit more strategy, a little bit more sensitivity, such that whatever that number is, if it's not in line with the market, it may cost you in terms of time having to wait or potentially not having as many offers that are agreeable to you when they do come across the table. So again, up to 12.2 as compared to 9.1 last year, an increase of 34% in terms of average showings, the amount of people it takes to get an accepted offer and move a home into pending. So if we look at Paulding as compared to June of last year to June of this year, it also follows that same trend from 9.6 to 11.2. However, this is an interesting comparison here, right? So in the entire MLS, this time last year, it took 12.3 average showings to get to a pending, to have an accepted offer. However, now, June of this year, it only takes 11.9. So this is the first piece of data I've shared with you where it is extremely hyper-local to Dallas as you compare it to the entire MLS. This goes to show you that homes are moving a little bit faster across the entire MLS. Now, the entire MLS is 7 counties in total, where if you're watching this, I would imagine you're interested in considering a property or own a property in Dallas, Georgia, and it is important to take a look at what's happening in your local real estate market because real estate is hyper-local in general. So we have an increase from 9.1 to 12.2, the average showings to pendings, and we want that number to be as low as possible. But with this data, we can price things accordingly because we want to present your home in a way, whether it's staging, whether it's pictures, whether it's a variety of different things to make your home present well. Maybe it's repairs that have gone unattended. We want to make sure that everybody who crosses that threshold wants to make an offer. So with this being said, it is another sign if you are a seller to take the necessary steps to prepare your home well, such that it doesn't take as many folks seeing your home to put an offer on the table that's agreeable to you to consider. So with that being said, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was helpful, if it was insightful, of course, please let me know, and I will continue to make videos like this to keep you informed to make the best decision for you. Again, my name is Tajh Walker, your local Dallas, Georgia real estate agent. All of my contact information is in the description below. There's some free resources for you in the description below. And if you'd like to talk further, please feel free to reach out to me. I look forward to meeting you and going from there. With that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one.